Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Whether you are new or returning, I just wanted to say thanks so much for taking the time to come hang out with me. Today we are doing something a little bit different, and it is the part-time YouTuber tag. I had to look right there to see what it was called. I didn't want to screw it up. But anyways, there's 8 different questions that I have to answer, and it's kind of interesting. It's a way to kind of get to know who I am and stuff like that. So if you're interested in hearing all about me being a part-time YouTuber, then just keep watching. So like I said, this is the part-time YouTuber tag, and where I seen it was from Will Venus, and he got it from a couple other channels, and I don't know where it came from, like the original tag started from, but if you guys do know, please let me know so that we can credit them. But whoever did come up with this, I think it's an amazing idea. It's kind of a good way to get to know some of the YouTubers who are only here part-time, and why that is, I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome. Okay, so I feel like the first question is going to be my longest answer. And let me tell you why. The question says, what is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student, a parent? Spill the beans. Shit. Okay, so if you guys already know some of my story, then it's going to kind of be a repeat, but if not, then here it is. So basically, yes, I am a parent. I have 3 kids. They're just not with me right now. I do have a full-time job, and I'm not a student, but I am learning things. I'm learning things, and that's because I am in recovery and in trauma therapy, working on my mental health. So I don't even know where to begin this timeline. I had my kids, and just a lot of stuff ended up happening in my life. I ended up in really bad addiction, and their dads ended up with them. My 2 boys with their dad and my daughter with hers. And I have a good relationship with my daughter's dad, and I get to talk to my daughter, so that's really awesome. But it's a struggle when it comes to my boys' situation. I haven't really talked about that. I always said, like, one of these days I'm going to, but I'm not going to go into detail about that. It's kind of a struggle. Plus, I don't want to trigger myself, and I don't want to be disrespectful to my boys. If you know, you know. I can say with that part of my life, I am not proud of the fact that I ended up with an addiction. And that's a major part of the reason that I started the channel, is because I wanted to share my story, and I wanted other people who are either in recovery or still in active addiction to see that, you know what, we make mistakes, but we can change. We just have to work towards bettering ourselves and trying to mend relationships and right our wrongs and prove that we can be sober and get better without taking people's bullshit, because people do take advantage of the fact that you're the one that made certain mistakes, but they're not realizing that they're being abusive also. So you just got to be careful, you know. But all in all, the goal is to show that we do get better. And although we have hard days, we have days that are a little bit easier. It's the whole recovery process that is like a beautiful thing, you know? Like, it's a journey. It's watching yourself grow. Like, the glow up is amazing. So in a way, I am learning things, but not actually in school. No. I do, however, want to look into an SFX course of some sort. I haven't really looked much into it, but I really need to do that. I really do feel like I have to work a bit more on my mental health and my recovery before I commit to that, because I do work full time. I am a clothes sorter at Goodwill. I like my job. I think that it's fun, mainly because the people that I work with. I have done a lot of different things, like with soft lines. I was somebody who counted people like at the door when COVID was like, we had to make sure that only a specific amount of people could be in the building. That was kind of rough because people get mad. I was on the floor, like running racks, helping customers. I've hung and tagged clothing, but I mainly stick to just sorting through the clothing, which it's something else. I started working shortly after I had my heart surgery. I cannot believe I got a job that quickly, but I knew that it was important to do that because if not, I don't think I would have been where I'm at right now. Okay, let's move on to part 2 because I feel like I'm like answering part of the questions for other things. Okay, it said, what made you want to start YouTube? So, I am not going to lie. I didn't even realize that people did a whole bunch of other things outside of music. Like I literally only used YouTube for music, and I had other apps I listened to music on, but I was fully stuck into my addiction. And before that, I had my kids and I was watching Disney movies and stuff, and I didn't realize that. So anyways, I initially looked into it because my son likes to do knife making, and he's like, yeah, maybe, I'm pretty sure his dad might have said it, he can do videos on his knife making. And I was like, what? People do that? So then I was like, well, oh, hey, I want to look into that for him, which I started to. And I have all this information for him, and I never got to get him the information. That's what made me start looking into it. And then I was like, I can share my recovery journey on here. Like people do that. I literally was searching YouTube stuff, and somebody's video like popped up for beauty stuff, but she was talking about recovery, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I started watching other beauty YouTubers, like Nikki Tutorials. She is another one that I was just like, she is amazing. I want to tell my story too. So truly, I feel like it was a combination of learning that bit of information from them and then finding out the other stuff that I did and seeing somebody else share their story about recovery and being like, I think that I want to try this. And then what better way to get information for my son than to start trying it? And at the time I thought it would be so cool if we both had a channel and I can learn different things and we can learn together. This is initially what my main thought was. If I can go through all that and still survive and be in recovery, and I can help just one person by starting this channel and show that not only can we recover, but people who are addicts or recovering addicts are very talented people just like anybody else. We have things about us that we are very good at. We are very smart. We do dumb shit. But yeah, addiction is a disease, okay? So anyways, a lot of it, I'm not gonna lie. Man, I have to admit this. I wanted a way for my kids to be able to watch and see that I'm trying to grow. So yeah, a lot of it was fueled by me wanting to share my story, and also so that one day, hopefully my kids will come across it and say, hey, you know what? My mom did try. And we were enough for her to quit, for her to fight an addiction, for her to battle depression and mental health. That even though we couldn't see her, she was still doing things to help get her better. I have to take a break. Okay, so I said I needed to take a break, but I know that if I stop right now, I'm just probably not going to continue to make it. So we're just going to go to number 3, which is, what is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? So yeah, I cover a few. It is basically a recovering addict who also battles mental health issues with a passion for beauty, getting into SFX makeup, and sharing different parts of her life. So basically, I wanted to cover recovery from addiction and be an advocate for mental health and take you along for my beauty journey. I went from only using things like at Walmart and stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't know that there were all these other brands. And I obviously knew about like gory videos and crazy looking makeup and stuff, but I never really got into SFX stuff until after my recovery. So it was just my journey, I guess. And those are the 3 things that I cover. So yeah, I have a few different niches. Did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or did you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? No, I didn't know about it. That one was easy. I told you how I found out, so no. But now that I know about it, it would be awesome. 5, what is your schedule like? When do you film and when do you edit? So my schedule is all over the place. I don't have a schedule. Let's just say that. And that's just because my life schedule is all over the place too. So I work full time, and that's usually from 12 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 at night. Sometimes it's different depending on who takes me to work, because right now I don't have a license. So if I have to change my schedule to 7 or 8 in the morning to 3:30 or 4:30, I do that. And not really knowing when that's going to happen is a little bit hard because I'm so used to my routine, which I really need to fix because I don't sleep very well. And I think that's mainly because I have an evening shift and then I want to get things done. And then by the time that I actually fall asleep, I end up, waking up later before work, get ready. I feel like that's all I do. I'm not proud of this, but when I first got out of the hospital, I was still on parole. I ended up having to complete parole for a couple more months because I had been on it for a long time, and then I had to finish off my sentence. I completed that, but I was fighting a case, and I ended up on probation like shortly after. So I have probation stuff going on like meetings, UAs, and at first I had a lot of UAs. I have to take drug and alcohol classes, therapy, groups, and all this other stuff on top of my full-time job. And then just based off of mental health days alone, I have days where I'm having harder time than other days where I'm just not mentally there that day. So even though I prepared myself to schedule this time, my mental health says we're not doing shit. So good luck trying to edit. But I do my best. So I didn't even realize how much it takes to be a YouTuber, even part-time. That's why I'm part-time. Okay, so the next one is, how do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? So I try to plan, but yeah, sometimes it's just like, oh yeah, when I was doing BoxyCharm, like, oh, our BoxyCharm came in, I guess we're doing a video. Or I would, something would come up and I'd be like, oh, I think I could do that. I notice that I do a little bit better off of like a random thought rather than trying to plan it out. Yeah, no organization at all. Okay, we're almost finished. We are on number 7. How do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you / would you ever do one on your channel? So I haven't really given much thought to this. My main concern is I would have to know about what it was. I would want to do research on it first. Of course, I would be like really happy that somebody wanted to sponsor me and stuff like that. But I don't want to just be like, this is amazing, and like shove this thing in your face and then me not really give 2 shits about it. Like, I don't really like that. If it's something that I believe would be a good thing, then yes. I don't know. This is a good one. That's a good question. Number 8, what do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? I think that I get overwhelmed, and I have to remind myself that I am not full-time. I do not have a full-time schedule for YouTube. I do my job, which is full-time. I'm trying to get my kids back into my life. I have my mental health to work on, my recovery. I have all this stuff that I'm working on. And then I have realized that it is putting a lot of your own money into the channel. And I have to remind myself that it's okay to just work with what you have. I at first felt like I had to have something that not many people had so that my video popped up first. I felt like, I know I have these eyeshadow palettes or whatever it is, but people already made so many videos about that, so I have to have this. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to be like that. I'm showing my journey, my creativity, my life, and I have to remember that the goal is beauty and recovery. Talking about mental health stuff. I don't have to have all the brand new things and stuff like that. So I made a pact with myself, like, you know what? We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that, and we don't have the money for that. So I do not have to have all this other stuff in order to make good content. I just have to let my personality be shown, be, fully into what it is that I'm talking about, try these different things, and just have fun with it. Because once I feel like it's a chore or something that I have to do, then I start getting overwhelmed and I don't want to do it, and it's depressing and adds to my depression, and I don't want it to be something that brings me down in the end. I think that this channel has helped me a lot because I've connected with other people who have smaller channels and are into the same things that I'm into, and they understand mental health and recovery. And if they haven't dealt with that firsthand, they're very supportive. Honestly, I finally feel like I have control of something in my life. Like, I don't have control of when I get to talk to my kids or, certain things, like with my mental health. Like, one day I'm going to be depressed, one day I'm not. One day I'm going to be okay, one day I'm not. Even when it comes to my job, like, I don't know my schedule because I'm working off of everybody else's schedule. Like, I feel like this is the thing that I have control over. And it's nice to be on here because I have an outlet and I have people who are supportive. I hope you enjoyed learning about me and me being a part-time YouTuber, and I hope a lot more people do this so I can learn about them as well. Also, I always forget to say this, but if you're new here, I would love it so much if you would subscribe to my channel. It would mean a whole lot, and I would just love it if you would stick around. And if you liked the video, please give it a big thumbs up. It actually helps so much. No matter where you're at in this world, I hope you're well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Promise that you'll never be lonely. Be a fan, that's what they call me.